You know, we don't get a lot of chances to step in and change a stranger's life in a big way, but Steve Mickham and his friend sure did. Yeah, they were on a mission to Honduras when they noticed a young teen with a badly damaged eye. Well, that's when they made up their mind to help the girl. Her name is Jelmi. The Fox Medical Team's Beth Galvin is here now with the story of what happened next. Beth?
Sine and Tom, when they first saw Jelmi in the crowd, they saw that something was going on with her, but then they looked away and they went home that night and they lost her in the crowd, and it took 4 years to find her again. But when they did, Jelmi's luck began to change. It was a small thing the first time Jelmi Zepeda was fitted with her new eye.
That's good. I'm so pleased.
But for Steve Mickham, it was beautiful. First time he saw Jelmi 4 years ago, he was on a mission trip to Choluteca, Honduras, with the local nonprofit, the Way and the Truth Ministry.
It struck me the fact that she was sitting all by herself. All of the kids were together and just effortlessly interacting, and Jelmi was just sitting on a curb, very quiet.
At 13, Jelmi was hit by a rock and blinded in her right eye, and that's when something broke. She became isolated, teased so badly by the other students she dropped out of school. Mickham decided he had to help her.
But then she wasn't there, and then the next year she wasn't there, and the year after that she wasn't there. Well, finally we were there, and she was back, and she was standing there holding a baby.
The missionaries asked Jelmi's pastor, Fidel Bardalas, to ask Jelmi if she'd come to Georgia and be fitted for an artificial eye.
When they told me that, you know, I saw the open door.
She'll never have the sight back in that eye, but she won't be seen as a disadvantaged person.
I would feel so happy because the people who treat me bad, they will not treat me bad anymore.
The Lions Club of Alpharetta paid for Jelmi to fly here to Atlanta to see ocularist Tal Cox, who specializes in creating and custom fitting prosthetic eyes. And for Jelmi, he's creating something called a scleral shell that will fit just like a really thick acrylic contact lens right over the front of her blind eye.
We try to do an exact match of the fellow eye.
The shell doesn't hurt, and Jelmi will learn to move it with her remaining eye muscles. And Cox wants it to look exactly like the real thing. So he shapes it, attaches tiny red fibers to create veins in the white of the eye, tweaks the color, then the pupil size, constantly checking and comparing.
It's going to be a big change just to see her face with the initial fitting.
And when Cox is finally satisfied, the acrylic shell is heated and hardened. And then it's time.
This is the finished product.
Looking at herself in the mirror, Jelmi is silent, but then smiles. A year of waiting, a 1,300-mile journey, it was all worth it.
I think this is the beginning.
Because Jelmi Zepeda can look people in the eye again, proud and knowing
that she's loved, that people really do care about her, and that she's beautiful.
And she is beautiful. And Tal Cox donated his work and his materials. A cap like that typically costs about $2,400. And Jelmi will fly home to Honduras tomorrow morning. And Steve says she's at his home and she cannot stop looking at her reflection in their living room mirror. And she's smiling from ear to ear.
You can understand why. She looks amazing. Yeah. And it's unbelievable the difference that this creates in her life when she goes back to Honduras.
Because she goes back with confidence, and she can find a job, and she can support her baby, and hopefully move on with her life.
And her whole face brightened up when she saw herself in that mirror.
She looked
great. Thanks, Beth.